Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free, exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING, get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator, exclusively on DRF Bets. Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Sunday, March the 20th, race number 7 at Santa Anita. We're going down the hill at about 6.5 furlongs. This race is for California breds. It's a really nice sprint called the Sensational Star. $100,000 is the purse. Let's take a look at this field because there's going to be a big favorite in here, and deservedly so. The number 2 Brickyard Ride has won 10 of 20 lifetime starts. He's good on dirt. He's good on turf. It's kind of funny. The guy hasn't run on turf since the fall of 2020, but that's how good on dirt he's been.
Yeah, he's been really, really good on dirt. I mean, listen, for a horse who's going to be, a really short price, maybe that's some cause for concern, Dan. You just sort of feel like he's a better dirt horse. He's going to switch surfaces now. They're still going to bet him like he's going to be as good on this surface, and maybe he won't be, and maybe that'll cause some problems for him.
He does look like the main speed, according to Timeform US. We throw up the pace projector, Brickyard Ride. We know his way of going. That is to the front. He's done it on dirt. He's done it on turf. He is fast. Jetivator, coming off a layoff, might show a little bit of fresh speed. I think Whooping Jay's got a little bit of early gas as well.
I do too. I don't think any of these horses are nearly as fast as Brickyard Ride, though, Dan. I mean, if this horse brings his speed off the surface, which he will be in front.
If there is a fast pace, it could set things up for the number 1 Indian Peak. Now, this is a horse who's very underrated. He's banked almost $400,000 in his career. He won the Snow Chief as a 3-year-old going 1 1/8, but he really likes going down the hill. He was a California bred stakes winner last fall at Santa Anita, and he did this last time out in the Grade 3 Simeon. We see Indian Peak splitting horses on the outside. He came from off the pace in here. He's just going to be run down by Barazza, who's in very good form.
Yeah, this closers obviously did well in this race, though, Dan. But listen, this horse still ran a pretty good race in here, just rated back from the start. I mean, listen, he didn't have any excuse in here. He had every chance to win off of a good trip, and the winner's just too much horse for him. All in all, it was a pretty good performance, probably against a field that's a lot better than this one.
Brickyard Ride was only beaten 1.5 lengths by Dr. Chivelle in the Grade 1 Bing Crosby at Del Mar last summer, and then he ran off for a long way in the Pat O'Brien, and you and I were very surprised he wasn't scratched before they reloaded him in. He showed speed and he tired. Connections wisely gave him time off after that race. He's come back with 2 big figure wins, including this blowout in the Tisnell, going a 2-turn mile on February the 21st, and he just simply took no prisoners.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where he's too fast and too good for these horses. The question in this race was whether he would be able to stretch his speed effectively. No problem there. He wins this race very easily in fast time. Now they're going to switch surfaces with him. Down the hill, I guess, is a different story, Dan, but he's 2 for 3 in his career sprinting on the grass. The last time they ran him on turf, October of 2020, he won easy with a 93 Beyer, which at the time was the fastest race he had ever run. So I know he's a lot better now on the main track, but he was pretty good on turf the last time he was on it.
And he showed similar tactics that day. He was just too fast for them. He blasted to the lead and kept right on rolling. He is the horse to catch. He is the horse to beat. He is the horse they're going to bet. Sacred Rider is up next, and this horse looks like a bit of a long shot. 7 second-place finishes from 29 lifetime starts. Been plying his trade mostly on synthetic, but he does have solid turf form, albeit against much weaker.
Yeah, probably as good on turf as he is on synthetic, but those races don't really give him much of a chance in here. He's stepping up out of the claiming ranks.
Jetivator was the beaten favorite in this race last year, and that sounds pretty good, but at the end of the day, that was his last race. It's been almost a year for Jetivator, who showed good speed in that Sensational Star, a race that went to stalkers and closers. He battled it out in between horses late, but he was a tired horse. This layoff is a concern, especially going 6.5 and being put on a hard chase, but he has run some nice races in the past, and he has run well fresh.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be a major contender in this race if he can come back and run one of his good races, I guess, off the lift. And you're right, he's run well fresh in the past, but they aren't layoffs like this. They're relatively short layoffs. This is a really long one.
And the last time he ran 6.5 furlongs at Santa Anita, remember that was not down the hill. That was the straight. He pulled off a gate to wire upset that day. He is unlikely to make the lead. Talented horse. Layoff is a huge concern. Riding with Dino is next, and we're going to take a look at this horse, who's more of a stalker than anything else. His last race was at Golden Gate Fields on the Tapeta in the El Dorado Shooter Stakes. He was shipping up from Southern California after some good performances on the turf, and he tried hard in this race, Mike. This was his synthetic debut. Maybe he's better on turf. He just needs a buyer boost.
Yeah, he's just got to get better. His overall form recently is actually pretty good. It's very solid. He shows up and he runs good races every time. I'm worried about the distance for him in this race, and I'm just also worried about the class. It's a pretty significant step up.
Usually like cutbacks going 6.5 furlongs. The question is whether the number 6 Big Fish is really truly a sprinter at heart. Now, he was claimed for $50,000 out of his most recent start. This horse usually doesn't break very well from the gate. Looking at a couple of his other races, and he has a bit of back class, I think he might be suited to being a late running sprinter, a sprinter type. The problem is he needs a big pace.
Yeah, I agree with that. Listen, they're supposed to go pretty fast in here. Even if Brickyard Ride is too fast for these horses early, he's not going to be walking on the lead. That could help this horse. I really respect Bob Hessoff, the claim. I think he does a good job with his new acquisitions, and I don't mind this horse cutting back.
Whooping Jay, the number 7, was so game to win last summer at Del Mar. That race on August the 20th, going 5 furlongs, where he dueled with 2 other horses while down on the inside. And it looked like he had no chance to hold off the sharp runner-up, and hold him off he did. I wonder if that race took some of the starch out of him, because he hasn't performed as well since. He got loose last time out when offered for $80,000. He just got tired.
Yeah, I didn't like his last race. We'll see if he can rebound off of that performance. Both of his starts off the claim have been pretty poor, actually. He needs to really rebound here. And I guess the other problem with him, Dan, is he's sort of more of a speed type in here, and that's not really going to work with the favorite.
Fashionably Fast was kind of like the Brickyard Ride of 2020, wasn't he? He was dominating a lot of these Calbred dirt races, running big figures, winning at a mile, winning at 6 furlongs. Now, he isn't as proven on turf, and he hasn't run on turf since the spring of 2019, but it looks like this veteran might be getting back into good form, and I can see him maybe tripping out, tracking in the second flight.
I mean, I like his dirt form. I hate betting horses like this when they're going to switch surfaces, and you have to expect them to be as good on this surface. He hasn't run on turf in a long time, but at least back then, listen, he didn't run terrible in any of his turf races, but he was not as good on turf as he was on dirt, either before or after that.
Let's take a look at our top picks for Sunday's DRF race of the day. Brickyard Ride, I certainly understand. He's the horse to catch and beat. I don't want to have too much money in against him. I am curious to see how Mr. Urton has Jetta Vader off of the layoff, because he ran some races last year that would make him competitive. But you got to get, at least for me, I got to get 6-1. I'm not sure I'm getting it.
Yeah, we'll see how they wind up betting the race. It does feel like Brickyard Ride is going to be a pretty significant favorite in here. I didn't wind up going against him, Dan. I just didn't like the alternatives enough. I do think the 1 Indian Peak has a reasonable chance to beat him.
I could certainly see that horse running hard in the stretch. 2174 for Mike, 4218 for me. It's the Sensational Star. It's the feature race at the Great Race Place on Sunday. Best of luck.